Morning, grade fours. How are you guys doing today? I'm here in my basement. This is kind of the hockey area of our basement, and at the end of the hockey area is where I have my work area. So often I do my work here. Sometimes I do it at school. I often do it outside there on the deck, but this morning it just looked a little too windy, so I decided not to do it outside. I didn't want my papers blowing all over the place. I do have to be a little bit quiet because it's just after 6 in the morning and everyone's still sleeping here. So I wanted to check in with you, and you should have all picked up your package yesterday. So hopefully you have all your new stuff, and we're gonna do a bit of work with the package today. I'm gonna send you one seesaw activity, the same as yesterday, with just a different equation to work on. You guys did a great job with those yesterday, and I think that's a valuable exercise, so that's good. Thank you also for sending me in the pictures of the trees that are special to you. I'm a big nerd when it comes to certain things, and trees is one of those things. So I really love trees, so I love to hear the stories that you had behind those trees that were special to you, and I love to see them. So thanks for sending that in. For today, you have a booklet that's called Week 3 Independent Study Packet. So this is something that you're going to be able to work on your own eventually, and there will be a few days here and there where I say turn to day 3 in your study packet and work on your own. But for today, I'm going to go through day number 1 with you, and let's see if we can get used to it. Okay? So I forgot my iPad stand at home, so this video of me doing the work is going to be a little weird, awkward, and not as smooth, but let's see what we can do. Alrighty, here is your week 3 independent study packet, and I'm going to tell you a little secret. I just went through all of the instructions on how to do today's work, and then realized that I forgot to press record on my iPad. So now I'm going to go through it again with you, but you'll probably see that there's some marks on here already because I already did this once. Okay, here's your packet. There's a materials page. Here's an activity menu that shows what each day will look like when you do this whole book. Every day, like day 1, you do some reading stuff, some writing stuff, grammar, and math. And then there is some social studies and science mixed in. Here's our day 1 schedule today. We're going to do some narrative work from first person and third person. We're going to do some more work with narratives. We're going to do some grammar practice, working on quotation marks, and we're going to do some more fractions a little bit. All right. All right. It's a little awkward not having an iPad stand, but that's okay. The tale, or the point of view practice, 2 misbehaved moths. All right. So let's talk pronouns for a little bit. Pronouns are words like I, we, us, my, our, myself, ourselves. So if you are reading a book and you hear those words over and over, I went to the store, I bought some milk, I found some cookies, I bought them also. Okay, that's a first person point of view. What that means is the narrator is a character in the story. So it's the narrator's writing about themselves doing these things. That's why it's our house and my house and I did this, okay? If you hear words like he, she, it, him, himself, that's third person narrative, it's called. This means the narrator's not in the story, but he's writing, or she is writing, about someone else doing stuff, okay? Timmy went to the store and Timmy bought some cookies. He also bought some milk for his family. Okay? So that's the difference between first person and third person. So read this paragraph, highlight the pronouns, and identify the point of view of narration. So go through this and look for these words and highlight them. Circle them, whatever you got to do. It'll tell you whether this is a first person or a third person. So once you're done highlighting the pronouns, now look down here. Complete the sections of the graphic concept web graphic organizer to describe a first person narrative based on the paragraph. So read the story here carefully and now pretend you are one of the characters, one of the moths in the character in the story. First of all, once you read this, what is the topic of this story? Okay, what's it about? What's the main concept? Okay, what is the scene? Where are they? Okay, give me your thoughts on where they are. What do you hear? What would you feel if you were one of those characters? What would you see and smell and taste? So do your best to try to put yourself into the story as a first person narrative. Okay, then looking here, what is a narrative? We're going to look at the key features of a narrative. Okay, we have these words. So it says write each term next to the definition that matches it, and then give an example from a book that you have read. Use the completed row as an example to get you started. So these definitions are filled in for you. You have to figure out which of these words belongs with it. And then think of an example from any book that you've ever read. The example they did is the main idea or underlining meaning of a story. That is the theme. So the main idea of a story is the theme. And the example they gave is the primary theme of Harry Potter is the triumph of good over evil. All right. So I did this one. The sequence of events that in order tell a story. So the events from beginning to middle to end, those events are called the plot. So I put that one in there for you already. An example from a book I've read, I just used Little Red Riding Hood as an example. So I started with the beginning, kind of the middle, and kind of the end. Red Riding Hood wants to visit her sick grandma. She enters the forest. She meets the wolf. She is tricked by the wolf and eaten. A woodsman saves her at the end. So it's not full of detail. It's just some quick points to show I know what a plot is. Okay? So read these carefully. Figure out which word you would put into here. All right? And try to find an example from something you've read before. I think that'll be cool. All right. The next page is all about quotation marks. All right. Use the following rules when using quotation marks. Use these rules properly to properly place quotation marks in the sentences below. So these are the rules of using quotation marks properly. Read them yourself carefully. I am not going to read them for you. Read them and look at the example they give for each one. Then go through these 14 sentences and put your quotation marks where they belong properly. Okay? I put a star on this page because this is the page I would like you to take a picture of when you're done and send it to me in your journal. And when you do that in your journal, look for the folder that's called writing. Okay? And put it into that folder. Actually, what I'll do is I'll make a folder called Writing Conventions. So look for the folder that says Writing Conventions. Conventions means different punctuation that we use when we do our writing. So I'll make a folder for that. Here we have a fractions page. Space fractions. Fractions are everywhere, even in space. Write a fraction that shows the ratio of the solar systems for each problem and then simplify the fraction. be sure to show your work. Okay. So, in the example they gave, this number in the spaceship shows the total number of aliens. There's 36. And it tells you that there's 12 blue ones. So they want to know the ratio of blue aliens. So there are 12 out of 36. To simplify that, they took a number that they knew would go into both of these numbers. So when skip counting by 12, it's 12, 24, and then 36, which means that 12 goes into 36. And you can also divide 12 by itself. So if you do that to both of them, you get the simplest fraction possible. Okay, so let's look at another example. For the second one, the total aliens is 60. There are 15 blue ones, so there are 15 out of 60 blue aliens. That's the ratio. But we can knock that down simpler, okay? I can see that 5 will go into both of these, so I could divide both by 5. Divided by 5, divided by 5. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. 60 divided by 5 equals 12. Okay? And I'm okay if you stop there, but if you can see that you can go even further, then do it, okay? 3 and 12 have something in common. When you skip count by 3, you're going to say both 3 and 12, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. Which means I can divide this one by 3 and divide this one by 3. And it'll work out. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And now we've gotten as low as we can go. Let's look at one more. Here we have 56, and here we have 24. 24 out of 56 are blue. Okay? If I skip count by 24, I'm not going to say 56. So I can't divide them both by 24. That wouldn't make sense. So I have to find a different number that I think they have in common. Okay? And there are a couple of them, but I know for sure that they're both even. So I can go ahead and divide them both by 2 to start. 24 cut in half equals 12. 56 cut in half. I got to do a little more work with that one. But 50 cut in half is 25. And 6 cut in half is 3. So if I put that together, I got 28. So I got 12 out of 28 now. Again, I can divide them by 2 because they're both even. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Guess what? I can do it again because they're both even. 6 divided by 2. Sorry, I'm running out of room here and it's hard to do while holding this iPad, but 6 divided by 2 is 3. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Now I've come to a number where I can't divide them any further. So this is our lowest simplified fraction. Okay? I'm okay if you just do it one time if that's as far as you can go. Don't worry about it. This isn't a super important concept that we need to learn in grade 4. It's cool if you can go all the way. So have a look at the rest of these. Here it's 42 and 7 of them are yellow. See what you can do. Give me the ratio, the right fraction. 7 out of 42. And if you skip count by 7, would you say 42? Well, work it out, okay? Find a place to work that out and then do your best with those, and I hope it works out for you. Thank you very much for all your hard work. That is actually all that you have to do in here today. That's not true. There's another one right here. Okay. Let's have a look at this page yet. Test your multiplication skills by writing in the correct symbol. Greater than, less than, or equal to. So if you remember doing this back in the day, if if you look at 13 times 0 and 2 times 1, which one is going to be bigger? Well, I know that 13, anything times 0 is 0, and 2 times 1 is itself, which is 2, so I know this one is going to be bigger. The mouth will be facing that way, okay? So work your way through these and put in those symbols, all right? Good luck. So guys, getting back to that fractions page, if it's something that you're just not able to do and you're not getting it, don't sit there and stress over it. I don't mind if you skip that page and just go on to that end multiplication one. Or if you want to go through all of them and just give me the ratio. Give me that one starting fraction. You know, the 12 out of 36, the 15 out of 60. Give me that ratio and just leave it at that. I'm okay with that. It's so hard to teach something like this to you and to help you with something like this when we're not in the classroom and we're not all together and we can't do it over and over and over and over again. So for me, just showing you one or two it'll help, but it might not help enough, and I'm okay with that because that's just the best we can do right now. Okay, so do what you can with that. Get help from an adult if you have it. If you just can't figure out how to simplify it all the way down, move on. It's okay. All right.